Okay, time to meet our final guest on the big show this evening. He's just released a brand new record called Seems Like Yesterday. It's raising money for mental health charities and mental health projects amongst young people. The band behind it is called Cubb McCullough. He got together with some of Belfast's finest musicians and singers to put this record together. And here's what happened when I spoke to Cubb. First of all, congratulations on the song. It's a song that a lot of people, it's touching a lot of people, isn't it? And sadly, a lot of people can identify with the themes in the song, can't they?
Yeah, well, it's the feedback from people. I mean, and it's people who have lost loved ones through different reasons. It wasn't just through mental health issues or suicide, but anybody that's lost a loved one seems to have bought into the message coming out of it, and it's related to them.
And sadly, here in Northern Ireland, a lot of people identify with suicide, and we keep asking ourselves the big question: for such a small country, why do we lose so many people to suicide?
I wish I knew the answer. If I knew the answer, I wouldn't be sitting here, Robin, talking about a song that, as I wrote it through my own sons who lost my son to suicide. If we knew the answer,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have this big problem. But I mean, it's there, and it's not getting any better.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing about it. It's not getting any better. We're sending out all these messages. We're asking people to reach out, but still, we're losing loved ones. We're losing too many of our communities. It's right across the board.
And still, there are so many charities out there doing good work, but there still needs to be more done, and there needs to be more money from our government and stuff put into this, doesn't there?
Without a doubt. I mean, only for them people, them family, or the likes of PIP, suicide awareness, Lighthouse. There's a terrible lot of people working in the community, and they deserve all credit. I mean, but there's no plan of action from government. We hear mental health getting mentioned through this whole pandemic, but we just say no, we'll have to look after people's mental health, but then we saying how they're going to do it, where the money's coming from to do it, and it's left up to people within the communities. And a lot of these people have lost loved ones. These people are grieving, and they're going out to help others, so the others don't feel that pain that they feel. But at the highest levels, we're getting let down big time. We're getting let down big time, and the numbers vouch for that.
And especially now with people being kept in their homes during the pandemic, it's just getting worse, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, I'm getting from the songs being released. I mean, the text I'm getting from people, and I have to say, very, very people who's been to hell and back, but they've got back. They've got back on their own. They've got back by reaching out. Some of them got back help with other people helping them, and especially during this pandemic. I mean, many people sitting and aren't reaching out. Many people sitting and feeling lonely and isolated, and and it's not going to help their mental health problems. It's just adding to the burden that these communities are facing, and the terrible thing is that I'll say many more young people, whether it's young or old, do we have to lose before there's something done about this? It's it seems never ending.
Tell us your story, because sadly you lost your son Paul 4 years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, just over 4 years ago, and it's been a heartbreak every day. And I say always be very careful to not speak on anybody else's behalf, but from it, I've met a lot of people who's been through the same as myself and the same as my family, and it's not easy every day. If you hear the words of the song, the pain doesn't heal and the tears don't dry. They're there. We run about with smiles on our faces that are false. We try and get through the day, and I just think of my son every day, and I wish he was here. I just keep wishing he was here.
Tell us a bit about Paul, because Paul did a lot of work as well to help his community. He worked with people with depression as well, didn't he?
Yeah, through sport, through football. I mean, I've said this before in other interviews. I mean, the amount of young people that came after Paul died, Cubb as he was known. The amount of young ones that came and says only for him, that, you know, I mean, they were suffering depression, suffering mental health issues. They didn't want to live a life no more. It's not that they didn't want to live. They wanted the pain to end. You know, they wanted their pain to end. And, you know, Cubb was the one who talked them around. And, you know, and as I say, through sport, he was, along with other ones, he founded two local football teams. He had good friends around him. I mean, and with them all, and I have to say, in Cubb's memory, there's still the numbers that have coming through their football clubs in our communities is amazing. The work they're doing is amazing, and they're doing all that in tribute to Cubb. And him along with a young lad called Michael Riley and Ram Whelan started to reform the Belfast Celtic team. And there's hundreds going through the Cassette club now. It's amazing the work they're doing, and that's all thanks to them lads along with Paul, you know, along with young Cubb. But it was just one of these kids. You just, you know, he was passionate, and he just wanted to help.
Yeah.
You know, and as I keep saying, through all that help he was giving to everybody, like a lot of people, he had his own pain. He had his own pain, you know, and
his own family as well, didn't he? Have young children?
His young daughter Maida, you know, and
it's still very difficult. The pain never goes away, does it?
yeah, it's raw every single day. It's every, because you again with especially with suicide. I know people's rating this song, but for they're grieving lost loved ones, but with suicide you're left with all these questions, all the whys, and what could I have done? I mean, I could have done more. I sit myself and I should have done more, because why is my son not here? I failed him, you know. I failed him. I should have done more for him. I should have realised that he's got a problem, you know. And I live out the rest of my life, but I just want him sitting beside me. I want him shouting. I want him arguing. I want him laughing. I want him joking. I want all them things that is our normality.
Yeah.
And as I say, there's a lot of people hurting. There's a whole community hurt. I mean, the turnout at his funeral, I know he got a great send off. Jesus, I wish he never got a send off at all. You know?
Yeah. Tell us about the song. How did the song come about? How long did it take to write the song?
Yeah, sitting down with pen to paper and music, it took an hour.
Okay.
But it was a realization that it took me 4 years to get to that hour.
Yeah.
And they actually put them words to paper, and actually it wasn't wrote to go to this extreme we've got to. It was just me writing. It was just during lockdown. It was just sat up in the room and it was strumming the guitar, and it came out. And then when I played it to my partner and Cubb's young brother, young Marty, them two just hugged me, because it was a realization that this is the first time that I've ever said anything about what I feel. You know, because when we were talking, we were sitting having a laugh over him, we were sitting having a joke over him about the mad things he done, about the good things he done, you know, and the crack that would have come out of him, the crack that other people telling stories about him. But that was the first time that I actually says, I'm not dealing with this. I am not dealing with it at all.
Yeah.
You know?
So how did the song then become a reality? You got lots of Belfast's finest musicians and singers involved, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that's a Belfast finest, and plus Marty Fay. It's but again, me and Marty was sitting having a yarn about during lockdown, and he says he showed a few things, and I said, sure, we'll send stuff to each other. And I sent it to Marty, and a young lad called Robbie McKee, who plays lead guitar on it. And Robbie brought it up to the producer, who was absolutely amazing, Jim McNally. Because obviously, you know the music, how recording goes, Robin, and for this guy to do this during lockdown and the way he pulled us all together, something that probably could have took 2 or 3 weeks, went into 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
And the way everybody pulled together, it's, I kept asking, what's happening here? It amazed me. Things don't happen that good. You know, nothing, there was no hiccups.
Yeah.
No hiccups. Everything just kept falling into place and kept falling into place. And I just sat back with, this is amazing. And as I said, just credit to everybody involved in it, because they done all the work. They done the work. They made the big effort. And what they kept doing was they kept me involved by saying, right, are you happy with this? Are you happy with this part? Are you happy with this? And every time I listened, I was just, yeah, like, and then when we finally heard the final master of it, I just broke down and cried, because it just went. And it was the first time I actually seen my son smiling, which I hadn't seen in 4 years, because the memories I had of him, you know, it was just a mental block. So I just seen his face, and I seen him living. I remember him having a life and living a life. So for me personally, it got me over a hurdle that I needed to get over. There's many more hurdles to face along every single day, but I'm all credit to every one of them singers and the musicians and Jim, the producer, that they got it to this stage. And
well, we're going to see the video in just a second. I see that Paddy Barnes and Packy Lee from Peaky Blinders, they pop up in the video as well.
Paddy Barnes, the backs, yeah, I'm involved. I volunteer. I do a mental health project with Glam Boxing Club along with Star ABC. It's called Boxing for Wellbeing. So to try and get our local celebrities, the boxing community, amazing. And Packy Lee, again, all this done during lockdown, that these people came out of their own, because they seen the message that we're trying to give. We're trying to say, reach out. You know, if you have a problem, please reach out. There is somebody there. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but Michael Conlon, Paddy Barnes, Paddy Gallagher, Tom McCarthy, and Packy Lee, Paul Hyland, and kids out of the boxing clubs got involved too. You know, so people have just been amazing through it. Robin, that's what I'm saying. The way everything's fell into place, you know.
Yeah.
And it became through the heartache of it. It was a very, very enjoyable thing to do. You know, because I've seen the good, as always. There's good in it. I'm a great believer in community.
Yeah.
I hear people saying that there's no such thing as community anymore. There's community, and I think if you watch the video, you'll see community getting together there. Yeah. That's community. People pulling and looking out for each other. That's community.
Definitely. Now, there's still time to get the record. It's on all the streaming platforms. It's on iTunes and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's going into Premier Records hopefully this weekend.
So if people want to get a hard copy, a good old-fashioned hard copy, they can do that as well.
Yeah. We're going to try and release it on tape as well for some of the real older ones.
The cassette tapes are coming back, I hear, so why not?
So, because that's the only thing I know how to work.
Well, it's been great talking to you. The best of luck with the single. And we're going to hear it right now. Here it comes. It's called Seems Like Yesterday. Cubb, thank you.
Thank you very much.